What it do, my people? This your boy FJ3000 back with a brand new episode of Hot Off the Press. And we got some hot news, man. Friday, Kyrie Irving requested another trade from the Brooklyn Nets. And on yesterday, it went down. Kyrie headed to the Dallas Mavericks. I will say this. Over the last month and a half of the season, if you really look at Brooklyn, it looked like they was putting it together. And I'm talking about championship material, putting it together. Kyrie was clicking on all cylinders. KD was clicking on all cylinders right up until he got hurt. So, in my mind, I felt like it was water under the bridge. Now, do I think Brooklyn was going to give Kyrie another contract at the end of this season? I don't think so. But I did feel like with Kyrie and KD, they was going to push hard for a championship this year and worry about the offseason when they got here. That's how I felt. That's how I looked at it. But it caught me by surprise. It caught me by surprise, but I'm not surprised that it's Kyrie asking to be traded. I will say that. Because if you look at his track record from being in Cleveland, going to Boston, and then end up in Brooklyn, and it was a situation, it was an issue, it was a problem at every stop he made. When he was in Cleveland, it was reported that it seemed like LeBron was about chasing stats and not solely in it on winning championships, even though y'all won a championship together. That don't make sense. It was reported that Kyrie wanted his own team, so they shipped him to a young Boston. And they had some young dogs. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart. Even though they were young, that was a good team to go along with Kyrie. Issues there. The players didn't like him there. And then he go to Brooklyn. It's an even bigger issue in Brooklyn. With the vaccine, with this anti-Semitic, all of that type of stuff is big. It was an even bigger issue in Brooklyn with the front office. And now he's at Dallas with Luka. Is it going to be another issue? Because he has a track record. He has a pattern that is always going to be something. Now, is it that he's with Mark Cuban now? Mark Cuban can kind of convince him to kind of tone a lot of stuff down? Or is Kyrie going to continue to be him? I don't have a problem with Kyrie being him. He do what he want to do as far as off the court. I love him as a basketball player. Great player. But owners and other players, your coworkers, they don't see it that way. And those are the people that's going to be dependent on you to show up. Because we know Kyrie will call in for work. We know Kyrie will take time off. We know Kyrie will not let the head coach know that he's going to be available. We know that. How would that transition to Dallas? Will things change? Playing with Luka, a ball-dominant person. We know Kyrie can play off the ball. Dallas don't have a bench. Dallas defense has went down since this trade. The defense will go down. Not saying they were really good defensively, but it's going to take a hit. You lose Dinwiddie. It's going to take a hit. Dinwiddie was really good. He wasn't a great defensive player, but he was better than what you're getting in Kyrie. They don't have a bench now in Dallas. And you got streaky shooters in Tim Hardaway. You got a streaky shooter in Reggie Bullock. And you got an injury-prone Christian Wood. To go along with Luka that really want that ball more than James Harden was. Even though James Harden has toned down a lot since he's went over to Philly. He's toned down the I need the ball. He's toned it down some. But Luka is pretty much like that. So how is that going to work? And I want people to tell me it's an issue with Kyrie everywhere he go. Kyrie done played with some dogs. Like superstars in this league, man. And he got one ring out of that. What's the issue with that? He done played with Kevin Durant. He done played with LeBron James. He done played with James Harden. Now he fixing to go play with Luka. He done played with them young boys up in Boston and Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. He done played with some dogs, people. He got one ring out of it. I'm not going to hold him accountable for the one for Boston because them guys are young. That stuff takes a while. But Brooklyn, he should have a ring in Brooklyn. I know a lot of times those guys was injured. I don't know if it was egos, but Brooklyn should have a ring with Kyrie, James Harden, and KD. They should have had a ring. They should have found a way to make it work. Period. So how is it going to work with Luka and Kyrie? With no bench. They're gonna be exciting to see on offense. But they also probably going to give up a lot of points on the defensive end. Especially when playoff time roll around. Especially when it's 4 minutes left in the game. It's 5 minutes left in the game. And you got to dig down and the refs swallowing their whistle. Because we saw how physical teams was with Brooklyn in the playoffs. And Kyrie and KD couldn't really get it done. We saw the refs let them play hard. Let them play physical. It's going to be that same way, especially with you being in the West. Even though the records are trash in the West with a lot of teams. But the West is still tough. It's still going to be tough. You got Memphis. You got Golden State. You got the Clippers. You got Denver. You got a lot of teams over there that's hungry. I see Dallas being a really, really good regular season team. Will he sign an extension? Will they offer him an extension in Dallas? I'm thinking he want $200+ million. Will they? I assume they're going to offer him that because don't seem like you'll make that trade if you're not going to give him an extension. So maybe they can make some. Maybe they still going to try to make some trades to bring in some role players, some bench players. But right now, as this team is put together, I don't see them doing much of nothing in the playoffs. Maybe winning the first round series, but second round, I'm not too sure about that. And it depends on who they play in the first round. But you guys let me know, man. You guys comment. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys like and subscribe to my page, man. I really would appreciate it. But most important, will this work for Dallas? Will this trade work with Luka and Kyrie? Kyrie can play off the ball. Luka loves to have the ball. Will this work? This your boy 3000, and I'm out. Peace.